Hey there, I'm going to assume if you clicked on this video that you're interested in learning a bit more about the Disney College Program, or DCP for short. Maybe you just found out about it and you're wanting to gather some more information, or maybe you're halfway through your application process waiting to be accepted, or congratulations, you've been accepted and now you're just waiting for your program to start. Either way, this video is kind of made for you. I just want to go through and talk a bit about my experiences doing the DCP. Some things you can expect, some of the pros and kind of cons of it, and overall just some wisdom and advice I can share with you. So reading through all these questions and comments online, I can feel the anxiety and the excitement kind of all in one. Is very nostalgic for me because that was me like a year or two ago, all the way back in fall 2021, where I did my program. And even though that was a little while back, I still think all the fundamentals and all the points I'm going to kind of touch on are going to be more or less the same and can be pretty universally applied to whenever you're going to do your program, at least within the short-term future. So my name is Grayson. I'm a DCP alumni, like I said, for the fall 2021 group. I was originally accepted in for EPCOT festivals to do the Food and Wine Festival, but I actually spent my whole program working for EPCOT ODV, which this actually leads to a really good segue of my first point, which is kind of when you're doing the program, when you're doing the DCP, Disney can really kind of do whatever they want with you. This is nothing to be worried about. So after arriving in Florida, going through traditions, doing my EPCOT World Exploration Day, kind of on stage and backstage, and going through my on-the-job training, which was all done in the EPCOT festivals. I actually was working in Refreshment Port and the Tangerine Cafe, which were awesome. Immediately after that, I was working for EPCOT ODV, which is outdoor vending. These are the guys that sell churros, Mickey pretzels, popcorn. And I really wasn't trained on any of it. So a lot of this was left for me to kind of figure out myself how it is you make popcorn, how to perfect the perfect Mickey, how to perfect the Mickey pretzel, and just create those awesome churros that everybody loves. I think that most anyone can learn the skill really easily. It just really goes to show that, at least for my group, there's about 40 to 50 of us who were supposed to be in the EPCOT festivals that actually got pulled aside to do EPCOT ODV. This was kind of cool though, because I actually became pretty good friends with a lot of these people. This goes to show that Disney can kind of move you around however they want to. Unfortunately, I remember thinking back, I think around November time, as soon as EPCOT started their cookie stroll, all but about 4 of us, festy besties, actually got relocated to a different role entirely. Some people got moved to resorts, some people got moved to attractions. There was only like 3 or 4 of us that actually stayed in ODV. Again, nothing to fear. You just got to think about everything as a new opportunity to have new experiences, make new friends. So I really want to kind of get into talking about first, why do we want to work for Disney? Why do we work for Disney? One, it looks great on your resume. It's a massive company, and overall, it's a magical place. So in doing the DCP especially, you get a cool opportunity to meet people from all different walks of life all over the US and all over the world in some cases, which is going to give you ample opportunities to make new friends, to get to know new people, learn new cultures. You get to become a cast member, which in and of itself is a really cool experience. As a cast member, you know you are the magic. You are bringing the magic to people. It's definitely a once in a lifetime experience. Being located in Central Florida and being a Disney cast member, Disney employee, of course, you're going to be spending a lot of your downtime at the parks. You're right next door to Universal, which, by the way, make sure you get that Universal pass. That was one of the best investments I made for myself on the DCP. But then you also get the opportunity to explore a lot of Orlando and Florida in general, which has some pretty cool parts that I definitely would never have known about. So make sure when you go, make sure you are going to Cowboys. Senior Frogs is alright too, but I think Cowboys was where I was at. So here's kind of what to expect a bit about your DCP. So let's talk a bit about living. You're going to be living in Flamingo Crossing, which at my time there was only 1 Flamingo Crossing. Now I know there are at least 2, if not more. I don't know how many more, but they're all really nice actually. They're going to have a ton of amenities, pools. All the apartments are actually pretty nice, and the cost of them kind of works out to how much you are going to be working. So I guess it's affordable housing, but also you don't really get too much of a choice. So anyways, just know it's a nice place to live. You're going to be living with all your coworkers and people from different parks and resorts, and you're going to have a really great opportunity just to kind of bond during this whole thing, during and after work hours. Being together makes it super easy. Why do you have to bark like that? Why do you have to do that? I'm trying to record. Yeah, go. Anyway, so what you should know is that at Flamingo Crossing is where you're actually going to be doing your traditions. They have a lot of like corporate office spaces. It's not exactly like an office like you might be thinking about, just like more of these big rooms where they do a lot of the educational classes, like business classes, different trainings and such. Another perk about living at Flamingo's Crossing, especially for myself, I was originally from Washington State, so obviously I did not take a car from Washington to Florida, but Disney offers a lot of buses that are going to take you to all the parks and really to just a bunch of different parts that you need. And if you're like me and you didn't bring a car, make friends with people who did, because you're going to the store. Hey, I'm going to go to the store too. Can I catch a ride with you? Really helpful. And that being said, there's always different things going on, either sponsored by Flamingo Crossing itself or the American Campus Association, I think is the managing group. They're always throwing things. If not, you and your friends are always having kind of like dorm parties that you're not really supposed to have, but it just makes it all the better. So one of the downsides I'll talk about, particularly on the lower floors, like maybe the first and second floor, is I had a lot of friends that had bug infestations of either cockroaches or ants or whatever, because it is all new construction. There's not a ton like Disney can do about it. I know they have exterminators, but it's still a prevalent issue, I believe. I myself was on the fourth floor, so that wasn't too much of an issue for me. So I'm gonna say in general, if you're higher up, you're probably gonna be okay in terms of any bug issues. So the apartments have 3 different layouts. They have a 2x2, which is 4 people living in a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment, of course with a shared living space. All these will have a shared living space, like kitchen, living room kind of deal. Everything does come fully furnished, which is really nice. In the 2x2, I knew some people that loved it, others that really hated it. And then kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum, there are the 4x4s where everyone's going to get their own bathroom, their own bedroom, and then again the shared living space. Of course, there's a change in prices. I don't remember how much exactly, but it's quite a difference in pricing. I myself lived in the middle, in the last option, which was the 4x2, 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom. So I just had a bathroom which I shared with someone, which was absolutely fine. We never actually had any issues about that, but that's going to depend a lot on whoever your bathroom mate or your roommate is, on kind of how well you guys are going to get along. So the cool part about transportation from DCP is, as I said, they do offer buses and transportation to the parks. Even more now, there's a ton of new construction actually around Flamingo Crossing of different grocery stores and such. So it's not even that you need to even call an Uber or take a bus anywhere anymore to get to a store, when you can literally walk down the street to it. During my time there was like actually nothing. It was just Flamingo Crossing and maybe a Starbucks. Other than that, everything was in a field and under construction for everything Disney had planned of all the other Flamingo Crossing campuses to be open. A little bit about working hours, because you are definitely here to work, and working is a big part of this internship. Of course, it's not all fun, but work can be fun if you let it be. It really is going to depend on where you are working and what role you are. So for example, I know a lot of people working in Magic Kingdom in particular, they kind of got the blunt end of the stick a bit on working. I know it's a lot of people's dreams to work in the Magic Kingdom, but just keep in mind you're going to have a ton of holiday parties, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween, Christmas, whatever. You're going to have it all. And a lot of times that's going to result in super late nights and super long shifts. I've known people working shifts like 12 to 14 hour shifts even, and they're literally getting back home at like 3 a.m. just exhausted, but have to wake up at like 7 or 8 the next day. That being said, myself, like with a lot of people working in the festivals, we were definitely working full time, about 40 hours a week. Thinking back, my very first week, I think we told, like off training and everything. I think I told about 32 hours. That was probably my slowest week since then. Obviously, around the holidays, everything gets a lot busier. And then I believe I was working more like 50-ish hours a week, and I was also doing school part-time during this. So just balancing all that was a lot, which kind of leads me to this next point of making sure you're definitely taking care of yourself, because a lot of people just ran themselves into complete exhaustion. It's always go, go, go. You're always in the parks, either working or not working. A lot of people take time off of school. If you're not a person that has very great time management skills or can't devote yourself to both, I say probably take a break from school if you do choose to do this program. But because of that, a lot of people end up getting sick. A lot of people's mental health maybe kind of take a toll too, because it's an interesting dichotomy, because on one hand, like, you are on the happiest place on the earth and you're around constant stimulation, which is so much fun, but on the other, you are so exhausted. So make sure that you're taking time for yourself too. Don't push yourself further than you need to. You have points, call out if you can. A reprimand's not the end of the world. Just make sure you're taking care of yourself. Just to give you some more advice, especially when you first arrive and you're feeling out of place and you're new, just remember this, that everyone there is new. At most, they've been there like 6 months, maybe some up to a year. That's really, in the grand scheme of things, like, that's not so long. So go through it and start your program with this mindset. Everybody wants to be my friend, or think everybody wants new friends at the very least. I think this really helped myself because I'm definitely not so much of an outgoing person. So just kind of thinking like, hey, everyone else is new here. Everyone else is feeling kind of anxious and awkward as well. Let's just like act like we all want to be friends with each other. And I actually found that to work quite well, because I was able to make friends in the beginning, new friends during the middle of my program, and at the end. There's always opportunity to make new friends. Just keep thinking everybody wants more friends. Kind of with that too, I know a lot of the CPs that have like already been there for a while, they might seem like a little bit cold and standoffish at first, because they have some weird like superiority complex that, oh, I've been here like 3 months longer than this guy, so like I'm cool, I'm in the know, they don't really know what's going on. Just kind of ignore that, because like I did mine 2 years ago, and like I think you're fine. So some other advice, make sure you're definitely keeping track of your spending and your money. I found this is mostly an issue with some of the younger CPs, like 18 to 19 years old. Nothing against you guys. It's just maybe this is like your first experience away from home or being kind of financially independent. So I've seen a lot of people just blow through their money, and unfortunately they're going into debt, then they can't make the rent or whatever that means. It's pretty tough. That being said, don't be like ultra conservative either. I mean, it's definitely a balance, like with all things in life. Make sure you're spending money, you're having fun, but you're not going too far. Make sure you do have some sort of savings, at least, just in case if something does happen, that you're able to kind of bail yourself out, especially in a case where you know your parents won't be able to. It's pretty good. Just some closing thoughts. Like with anything in life, even though you're at Disney World and this program is pretty awesome and definitely has its pros and cons, it really is kind of what you make of it. A lot of people kind of have this idea going in that, you know, as long as I'm in Disney, it's going to be it's going to be a really good time. The truth and reality is you're going to be working a lot, you're going to be educating, you're going to be potentially going to school, busy 24/7, literally. It really is a case of the grass is always greener, grass is greener at Disney, grass is greener not at Disney. Truth of the matter is the grass is greener where you choose to water it. It really is what you choose to focus on is what kind of makes or breaks your program. So there's some pretty cool like tours and such. Like I think one of my friends did a tour of like a behind the scenes, the Tower of Terror. I didn't go on, but that sounds awesome. I did some business classes, which pretty basic stuff, but I would say ultimately it did help me. If you choose to just focus on all the negative, on, oh my God, I'm working 50 hours this week, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I don't want to do this anymore, because that time will come more likely than not. That really does become your reality. Your thoughts manifest into your reality. Instead of maybe taking that approach, just think more so about what are all the positives to come of the DCP. I've made new friends. I've done this really cool once in a lifetime tour, this cool program. Remember, it's not forever. And the final thing with that, especially for making friends and kind of creating these lifelong relationships for a lot of people, a little bit about like trauma bonding. I know that sounds funny, but just imagine that you're 50 hours into your work week. You have to work until 1 a.m. because there's some extra magic hours going on, and you are absolutely exhausted. People are just, you're giving them the magic. You're making sure they have a magical day. It's kind of funny because all these bad times become good times in memory and things you're definitely going to laugh about. So keep that in the back of your mind as well. Even when you feel like you're at your worst, just know like it's going to be funny in a week from now, maybe, or a year, maybe. So that's kind of all I have. A very brief overview. I know I didn't get into any specifics really with anything, but if you guys have any questions, reach out to me personally or just comment on this video. I'd love to answer them. Overall, I'd say the program is definitely worth doing. It's definitely a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I think everyone should embrace it.